Welcome back, everybody, to another edition of Saltwater Gaming. I am Ellison Smith. It has come time to the first ever reflection episode of the gaming year, this year being 2017. Um, Christmas is almost upon us. It is now the 21st, so Christmas is in like 4 days. And then it'll be the new year, and we've got so much stuff to look forward to in 2018, which you can hear about in my previous episode. But just in case you didn't, go check that out. But this is not like the previous episode. This is going to be a reflection episode to just kind of go over all the things that launched this year, and there's a lot of really good gems that came out this year, and a lot of misses. A lot of misses. But there was so much more positive stuff this year. This was a great year for gaming. The Nintendo Switch dropped with probably one of the most gorgeous and most playable Zelda games that I have ever gotten my hands on since like Wind Waker, because everyone remembers how Wind Waker was when it first came out, and everyone's like, "Oh, it's so pretty!" And I think that was on like the GameCube and everything like that, and it was gorgeous. And then Breath of the Wild comes out, and it's an even bigger open world game, um, and just so so much exploring, so many quests. Just it was great. Um, So that was the top seller with the Switch because it came with most of the Switch bundles. They've now had Super Mario Galaxy come out, which is really imaginative and a really great taste, a new, fresh kind of outlook for the Mario franchise, um, and for the Switch. So they've got a couple other big titles, but Breath of the Wild and Super Mario Galaxy are currently, what's helping to sell it. So hoping to see some more stuff from the Switch in the future. In the meantime, we got a couple good, about three great shooters out this year as well. We got the newest edition of Resident Evil. We got Resident Evil 7 Biohazard, which was like a survival horror first-person shooter, and it. I love horror games, but I don't get scared by much of horror games. This one actually This one actually gave me a couple nightmares, which is surprising. Um, it's really challenging. It is if you like resource management, or like not even resource management, but inventory management, and trying to scavenge around for ammunition and not die while avoiding this house that is just slowly turning worse and worse with some crazy dudes that live in it. It's a great game. It's a great addition to the Resident Evil franchise, and I do hope they do another game in a similar format. So Resident Evil 7 Biohazard, Wolfenstein 2, the new Colossus came out. This was a couple of weeks, maybe a month ago, and if you like punching Nazis and shooting Nazis, it's a really good game. It's a good game for our political climate. And it's just a great addition to the Wolfenstein series. So, bar increased for that. We also got the newest Call of Duty. It went back to World War II, and it feels like you can tell that it's made for mostly multiplayer, but the campaign is still relatively decent. It's a lot better storytelling than we've gotten in the past couple games. It feels like a redo of a traditional Call of Duty uh, back when that and Medal of Honor were competing. So it's a really good shooter. We've also gotten a couple new just big AAA titles. We got Destiny 2 for those of you that like to grind and just kind of wait for quests and everything else. It's been good. It's improved on the first one. We've also gotten the essentially first Assassin's Creed, but not like the legit first Assassin's Creed. but like the origin of the Assassin's Creed with Assassin's Creed Origins that came out. That was really good. Um, they did a co-op kind of content with Final Fantasy 15, which also came out this year. Um, and it you get new weapons that were in the Final Fantasy franchise, and it's it's really interesting. Good little addition to both games. We've also gotten some games that have kind of flopped, and the biggest one that I have seen so far is Sonic. Well, not Sonic Mania, but uh, I think it's Sonic Legends. But we got two Sonic games this year, which was Sonic Mania was a lot more of a traditional Sonic game, so it's a lot more arcade-ish, and it's great fun for those Sonic fans that have stuck around for the series, or if you're wanting to introduce your kid to it. Uh, it's a really good addition, and it kind of starts you off really nicely, really simply. We got for handhelds, we got the last um, Pokemon games that are going to be on, Nintendo DS, which is really sad. But Pokemon Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon have released uh, relatively recently. They're out now. They've got a lot more additional content than regular Sun and regular Moon. Um, and those are the last ones that are ever going to come out on the 3DS. So that's unfortunate. We got some great indie titles. Hollow Knight came out, and it's cute. It's a really cute game, but it's also really good gameplay. Um, it's not one that I have personally played, but I've seen gameplay for it, and it looks quite fun. So I've put it on my list to try and go over and review further along the lines. We got an experimental title from Ubisoft, For Honor, which was essentially a combat simulator. That one didn't go over as well. It was visually impressive, but then, the Ubisoft curse of, hey, our servers are down, and everyone's ganging up on you, and this is a terrible time. It didn't go well. We also got the newest namesake with Horizon Zero Dawn. That was an interesting concept, and I look forward to seeing, hopefully, a sequel to that, because it was great fun to go through and take out, like, robot T-Rexes. That was, that was really, really interesting to do, and perfecting a dodge roll, it took a lot longer than I expected, and much longer than I would like to admit. I could go on for Horizon Zero Dawn for ages. There's been a lot of impressive visuals, and then we get a couple games that have just kind of flopped. The biggest one this year was probably Mass Effect Andromeda. I beat the Mass Effect series 1, 2, and 3. I waited to see Andromeda, and I'm glad that I did. Uh, it's just a mess. Andromeda was a mess. Uh, just, ugh. The control scheme was god awful. The graphics were atrocious. It felt like something that came out on the 360, and we have grown accustomed to our current generation. So now the PS4, the Xbox One, the Switch, all of that, and it just felt like a step backwards. So now I'm pretty sure that the whole of the uh, Mass Effect series is on ice, and I think it should be. They need to kind of think and see where they should go. On the plus side, we got a wonderful new little indie challenge, which was I I don't have an Xbox One, but I actually borrowed a friend's computer to play it. If you haven't already checked it out or seen gameplay for it, this little title by the name of Cuphead. It is a it's a side scroller platformer, just run and gun, beautiful, beautiful game. The animation looks like it's from the old, like, 1930s, 1940s cartoons. So the beginning Disney tunes, or just really old timey stuff. Everything's hand illustrated, and then a little bit of computer animation in it. But it's gorgeous, and it will make you want to break things. So on the plus side, great game. On the downside, anger. Anger incarnate. Worse than any Dark Souls game that I have ever played. But so much fun. So much fun. So Cuphead, flip of a coin to see how you deal with it. There's going to be a little bit more when we come back. But in the meantime, here's Mike to tell you what's coming up with Eventide and what to expect over the next couple of weeks. So we'll be right back with Saltwater Gaming. Mike, what do you got for us?
There's a reason they call them lazy Sundays. There's nothing better than sitting around and enjoying the comforts of a good book. But what book should that be? Well, every Sunday, Eventide brings you The Bookseller, hosted by Jessica Gillen. Each week, Jessica breaks down a different book and tells you everything you need to know before cracking it open and getting lost in a whole new world. Tune in every Sunday for The Bookseller with Jessica Gillen, brought to you by Eventide Entertainment. Wednesdays on Eventide, Robert Yetter and Mike Shea sit down and throw albums at each other, talking about them, picking them apart, ripping them a new one. All different artists, all different genres, all different levels of suckage. It's Track Record, Wednesdays at 9 a.m. on the Eventide podcast feed. For more information, go to eventideent.com. Nothing brings people together quite like the movies, and every week, Aaron Lopez wants you to join him in a discussion about the latest and greatest in the world of film. So grab a drink, grab some popcorn, and get comfy. Come join Aaron and friends every Thursday at The Drive-In, presented by Eventide Entertainment.
You know, there's nothing quite as satisfying as a good conversation with intelligent company.
Join comedian Don Smith every week as he sits down and talks with comedians, actors, filmmakers, writers, and everyday schmoes. It's The Life with Don Smith, Wednesdays at noon on 106.9 FM, and now available on the Eventide Entertainment podcast feed every Friday on Spreaker, YouTube, and iTunes.
Hey, thanks, Mike, and welcome back to Saltwater Gaming. I'm Ellison Smith. So, for the next couple minutes and for the ending of the show, I'd like to talk about some stuff that has gone on this year that needs to stop. If not stop, just have another look taken at it. And two things, really. So, this was a really bad year for the whole concept of microtransactions. And just in-game charging for content in general. Like, some people have gotten angry at, let's say, Shadow of War. So Lord of the Rings Shadow of War. For, the whole loot box kind of thing. Shadow of War is not that bad. Because you can actually go through and earn currency in-game. And it's kind of easy to do that. It takes time, and I know that people are just like, it wastes too much time. If you like the game, just farm. That's what a lot of us do. So just, keep doing that. But then you have other games like Destiny 2, or the worst offender that I was gonna get to this list, Battlefront 2. That have taken this concept and essentially made a game completely unplayable. I was going to do a review for Battlefront 2. I picked it up. I spent about a couple hours on the single-player mode, beat the single-player mode, and then the game itself told me, hey, you want to keep going with this ride? Play multiplayer. Even better. there's loot boxes. And you can buy loot boxes. And it's just, oh my god. We need, as fans, I'm not saying, don't buy EA's products, but, if anyone needs to learn the lesson, it's EA. But write to these companies, or just show that you're outraged. We got it fixed briefly for Battlefront 2 because we sent so much flack to EA. Keep this up, because if we're going to be getting more games this year, and a lot of them are probably going to turn to the loot box concept. Now, I buy a game, and I know a lot of people buy a game for about $60. With that $60, I'm not kind of trying to be a self-righteous dude, I'm just saying with that $60, I would like a game that has, 100% of its content already there, with the additional option of stuff that I can buy to increase gameplay, DLC and extra missions and all this other kind of stuff, but not outright. I want a full game that I play as soon as I, put it in my PS4 or my PC or whatever, and just go from there. And I want to have that adventure. I don't want to buy half or three quarters of a game and have to pay an additional $30 or an additional $15 to, get another chunk of it that's not even full. That's a terrible practice. That's a terrible concept, and it shouldn't have happened, but it's the way that some things work. Bungie does it with a lot of their concepts now. Like, I just uploaded, or upgraded, Heroes of the Storm yesterday, and they now have loot boxes, and the last time I played that, they were the farthest thing from the truth with it, but they're there now, so it's slowly coming into a lot more games than we'd like it to. So, as fans, if this doesn't bother you, if you have the money to splurge on this kind of stuff, that's fine, you go right ahead. But otherwise, if you're pissed about this still, let them know. Let them know that this practice needs to be changed. Secondly, to kind of end this little rant, we got net neutrality taken away from us. And some of the people that are going to be listening to the podcast are going to be of the opinion that this will not affect gaming. This will just affect internet. False. You know how when you download your game, it takes a little while? For those of us that, don't have access to wonderful Wi-Fi, it takes us a little bit longer. Imagine if you're downloading, let's say, Far Cry, the newest Far Cry, and it says, hey, this is probably going to take 6 to 12 hours. You've got a decent connection. We lose that. We lose net neutrality. And now all of our cable companies, and with the cable companies, that means the internet people, the internet providers, what takes 6 to 12 hours is going to be throttled unless you are with a specific company or a specific plan. And it could be something as simple as a entertainment package, or electronics package, or something like that. And so your Wi-Fi speed gets throttled. So what normally takes 4 to 6 to 8 to 12 now takes 12 to 14 to 16 to 18 to 24 to 2 days to 3 days, and it's not pretty. So this is just coming from somebody whose entire life whose part of my life is made on the internet, with this podcast, with some of my stand-up stuff, with some of my joke writing. The internet is a way for me to make money, as it is for a lot of people, for a lot of these podcasters. So this affects us, this affects you as a consumer, and as a listener, and as a gamer. If you don't like it, let your friggin' congressman know. 2018's coming, we've got a lot of elections, and a lot of stuff can change. Let them know that you, as a person, hold power. And I know that they like their cushy job and their cushy little office. But we have the ability to make them lose that. I'm not, saying show up to their office with a pitchfork or anything like that. Just know that this does affect you. And know that this affects more than just getting access to YouTube or anything like that. This affects your internet speed. This affects your content. This affects your entertainment. Because if there's one thing we don't like, it's when Netflix has to buffer, or Hulu has to buffer, or an audiobook has to stop because of Wi-Fi. So this needs to be addressed. So call your congressman, call your representative, actually be active in this. We've still got a chance to make it go away. Otherwise, we are going to have to start changing how we use our entertainment and how we get access to it. So, that being said, I promise next episode will be a lot more cheerful. I meant kind of like the last little bit of grump before Christmas, so I do apologize for that. In the meantime, I hope every one of y'all have a wonderful holiday season. Happy Merry Christmas if you were celebrating Christmas. Happy Hanukkah for those of us that may be of the Jewish faith. Happy Kwanzaa. Happy Festivus for the rest of us. Just have a happy holiday season, everybody. You've been listening to Saltwater Gaming. I'm Ellison Smith, and we will join you next time through Eventide Entertainment. Hope y'all have a great holiday season, and we'll see you probably before the New Year's out, and then in the New Year. Bye, guys. Take care, everybody.